Greetings, fellow starfarers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Kerbal Space Program 2, Episode 8, Probe Core Station. Alright, new priority is build a station with a probe core. Alright, so we'll go back to the VAB. That's weird. It left me just like floating here. Really? It's just... okay. There we go. So let's go to the VAB and load up the blueprint. Did I delete the station? Yes, and that's what I intended to do. Because the station lacks a probe core and therefore it isn't targetable. So that looks like the station. Yep. No, this is the Mudlander. Try that again. I don't like how the name of the vehicle and the workspace are separate. That's just stupid. Like, straight up stupid. I don't know what the point of that would be. Is this it? I could also build it over it. No, that's definitely not it. This looks tiny. So yeah, I'll probably just build another station then. Because somehow it didn't get saved despite the fact that I was saving it. Fine. So be it. Let's build another one. So this one will start with a probe core instead. So in the control pod, we'll start with a large control core. Below that, we'll add RCS and crew pod. So here's the reaction wheels. And then, I forget where crew is. Is that payload? Yeah. I think so. Yep. There it is. So this is the crew pod. I'm probably not going to have it be as exotic as it was looking before because it was unnecessary. So instead, I'll just go straight to the fairings to a satellite dish. A big old satellite dish. Come on, flip. There we go. Build the fairings around it. Well, okay. Done. Strange looking fairings, but good enough. Then, what do we want actually on the station, right? That's another thing. I had previously added fuel storage, which I don't think is a terrible idea. And I also don't think adding monoprop fuel storage is a bad idea either. So let's go XL, or L, but small fuel storage. And I'll put that above the probe core for center of balance reasons. But just below the fairing. Oh, really? I have to rebuild the fairings? I'll build the fairings last, because that's going to get annoying. And then we'll also do the same large monoprop, and I'll put that there as well. So it has fuel storage for monoprop, methane, and oxidizer. We're going to want batteries, and I'll stick that on the bottom. And then, of course, solar panels. And then radial docking ports. And then one big docking port at the bottom. So solar panels would be electrical, and we'll do the Colossus, because I like them. We'll do that for symmetry Colossus. That, there. At the bottom here, we're going to want the large dock port so that we can add to it. And then the radial docking port. So that would be structural for, like, structural bodies. Do 4x symmetry. Put that... So if we have the solar panels here, I'm going to want the radial docking ports to be very far away from the solar panels, because otherwise you'll collide with the solar panels. So maybe I'll put the solar panels way up top so that they don't necessarily interfere when we're trying to dock down here, because that would be a problem. And in fact, I can angle these as well so that there's less likely to be physical interference. So we'll go with that. Because in space, there's, it doesn't really matter. So over here, for the couplers, this will be small dock ports. From the bottom. I don't know, it kind of looks cool. And then I can also angle these up so they're even far less of an issue. Because efficiency is not that much of a problem for these giant solar panels, because they're giant, and I'm not having to power up a lot of stuff on the ship. So for the rest of the utility, spotlights. I kind of like lights on the panels themselves. And then we'll use spotlights down here for docking lights. Oh, let me change what I'm looking at so it's a little bit easier. There we go. So we got dock port lights, and I'll add some dock port lights here as well. The big dock port. So it's well illuminated from the bottom so that you can see where you're parking. We'll have the satellite dish on the top. So I'm trying to think of other useful things to add to this. I don't believe... Okay, so the door here for the crew cabin is open. That's good. I have battery. I have probe core. I don't have RTG generators. But we'll rely on solar. I don't need a solar shield. I don't need landing gear. Sometimes in Kerbal Space Program 1, I would put like landing gear on the dock ports to sort of stabilize the things you're docking to, but I don't know if the physics will explode if I try that, so I'm not gonna bother with that, because I have a very real worry that the Kraken would crack down and blow me up. And I don't want to have another scrubbed mission because of Kraken damage. What else? Make sure to have the docking ports have good clearance. Yeah, I could even extend these out a little bit further for better clearance. That way we don't bump. That's upside down. There we go. So now there's plenty of clearance, both for the bottom and the sides. It is a weird looking thing, but I like it. I like it weird. So let's get this. Oh, the solar panels might be in the way of the fairings, though, when I build out the fairings. So let's move the solar panels to a slightly less extreme tilt. And then build these fairings. Or this one fairing. With very little ejection for... Actually, you know what? I'm going to change this a little bit. Cancel. Because I'm worried about the ejection force bumping into the solar panels. So I want the solar panels angled down instead. So that the ejection force doesn't eradicate the solar generation. So that's a lot safer now. Angled like that. Alright. Fairing time. Uko Finn, thank you for the sub. The resub. Oh, okay. I will redo those fairings. I thought it would autocomplete, but clearly did not. There we go. I don't need RCS and wheels on this thing because this thing is not. It has wheels already, but it doesn't require the rest of it. So this is still going to be the Shona. Shona Mark 1. And then let's get it up into space. Why have RCS fuel on it? It doesn't. It has fuel storage, but no fuel. I just removed the fuel. So, decoupler on the bottom. And that will be a large decoupler. With almost no ejection force. Then everything down here, I think, will be human steered. So, despite not needing it, I'm going to do a large command pod, but I have noticed in, if you have a large command pod flipped upside down, it's really hard to fly because the craft thinks it's upside down. So then down here, I'm going to keep it really simple just so I can build faster. It's just going to be like a jumbo tank with a mammoth. That already has positive thrust to weight ratio. Good. Means it won't tilt. And then here... Oh, are those lights off-center a little bit? I think they are. Oh. I see. It, like, doesn't want to do it nice anyway. Alright, we'll have left and right then. See how it's off a little bit? Maybe I can rotate the actual, this part. Nope, too far. Okay, I think that's right. Or looks close enough. If I can't tell visually, I guess I don't really care. But that frees up the bottom here for strutting. So I'll have as long stretch as I can for stability. And then radial mounted boosters to get this up out of Atmo. And I'll just go overboard because I want to go fast. So radial boosters. Okay, cool. I think the delta V calculations are wrong here. Yeah, I don't think they're right for whatever reason. Because changing that there should not change the delta V by like thousands. Alright, then I have the struts for the boosters, so they don't wobble. And then strutting to them themselves, though, that they're even more stable. Down here. Game's like, calculating! Ka-chunk! There it is. Alright, it's extraordinarily simple, but it's not going very far. So, workspace, Shona, Mark 1. So I have to give it a vehicle name and workspace. Not used to that. Alright, let's launch. And this is, of course, just going into about a 1,500 meter, whatever it is. 150,000 meter orbit. I don't know if it's going to need wings. We'll see. We'll see what the game thinks. I think these boosters have a little bit of gimbaling. Yeah, gimbal enabled, which means it's a little bit easier to control. Oh, do I not have a human pilot? I don't. That's fine. That actually is better because I didn't add a heat shield or parachute or anything like that. So I'll get this into the orbit, eject the back, and then delete it. And TMR, thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. Cheers. I like the lights. Although these spotlights that are supposed to be on the solar panels don't point at the solar panels anymore. Do G-forces kill Kerbals? Not that I know of. Maybe it does. I have no idea. Do not know. Alright, will the gimbaling allow me to point east? No. So I'm going to make a few corrections here before I commit to this flight. I'm going to correct the lights and add winglets so that I can gravity turn a little bit easier. But I think I'm fine launching probe only, rather than having to design this for human reentry. Which means, if I'm going probe only, I can get rid of the command pod that's down here. I hope I don't lose connection to KSB. Or KSC, whatever it's called. That there overlaps a little bit, so that has me worried. So let me lower the boosters. And then I'll have to, I'll just delete them and redesign them. If it would let me drop this. Really? Really? Please. Ugh, fine. The recycling bin is not so much a recycling bin as it is a well-intentioned area that doesn't work. So correcting the lights so that they point at the solar panels. That should look cool. Now the booster level can be lower so that there's no collision problems here. What the heck is that? There we go. The game, very briefly, had a psychotic amount of boosters attached in a very Kraken-y way. Alright, there we go. And last but not least, control surface winglets. And the struts are a little... Whoa, okay. There's something weird with the struts. Do I have an engineering background? No, not like this. I think I'm going to change these to 3x symmetry to match the 6 symmetry of the rest of the craft. And it also... Yeah. Alright. And I'll do the same with the solar panels. And the lights. What else have I added to this? The the big docking port lights. And then I think we're good. I'll need to restrut this up. Okay. It's messy, it's crude, but this is the Shona Mark II. Let's get it going. It's a lot of boosters. I like boosters. What can I say? Oh, I don't really have a satellite dish on this. Wait, what? Duh, what the heck? It like staged all the... Yeah, of course, revert to launch. It staged everything all at once, separated it all, and it started exploding. Maybe I should be red for this launch. I don't know why it said I didn't have a connection, because the probe core comes built in with like a comms. Do I not have the big dish on the... No, I also have the big dish on the top. So what gives? This should have a connection, no problem. I think it just like hadn't recalculated it. Yeah, it wasn't an issue on second launch. I think it was just a calculation issue initially. So up, and away we go. To Keo. To Kerbal low orbit, or Cleo. So I don't know. That was some recalculation interestingness. It looked like the ship had exploded briefly. Get the lights on. Kerbal low equatorial orbit. Yeah. Cleo. My frame rates are garbage. I feel like the frame rates go down during night launches more than day launches, if that's even a thing. Seems like it. But I'll start the gravity turn around 5 kilometers up. So far, this has been pretty stable. I've got a good amount of solid fuel left. Nothing's blown up, nothing's detached. I'm going to do the ever slightest tilt towards east now. Wow, okay. Or I'm going to lean into the tilt towards east, and the game's going to be like, oh, you're trying to grab a turn? Guess what? We don't care. These control surfaces don't control anything. So what I could do in this case is actually early fire off the Mammoth, because the Mammoth will gimbal. And that will give me steering capabilities. As long as the Mammoth's engine doesn't... Oh my god, frame rate. Doesn't burn up everything. Or not, because it's also not gimbaling. Gimbal enabled. I am not sure. I probably should scrub this and add fins that, like, are better control surfaces. So I'm just going to do that. All right, Mark III. You've read that the game struggles with many engines presently? Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the case. I'll just muscle through it, though. Doesn't bother me any. Was I still in docking mode? I shouldn't be, because every time you launch fresh, it's in stage and normal, not docking. It was just whatever... no, too big. All right. Oh, the old... no. Wrong symmetry. Try this again. 6. Done. Lovely. That's what I wanted. Where is the... Okay, yeah. I'm bringing the span back in a little bit. Increasing the angle because it looks cool. Oh, I had to click that. I didn't mean to click that. Undo. All right. I hope that's enough control, so maybe I'll fix it so that it's chunky. No, not that. What is it? Angle. Oh, that's the tip angle. Yeah, I don't want the tip angled. I shouldn't be messing with this given how all my other crafts like blow up. So I'll keep it like this, lower it a little bit, and launch and pray. Pray to the Kerbal gods. So this is the Mark III. May it be the last mark. Yeah, the last wings had no control surfaces, so that had no capability of gimbaling or controller or anything like that. Away we go! For the third time. Yep, alright. I have control now. I can gravity turn. I'm already angled a tiny bit towards east. And I'll do more of the gravity turn, about 5k up. Try to make a gradual arc. Coming up. What I do find interesting is this time around, it doesn't show the empty seats of the crew cabin. And I'm not sure why. Because the crew cabin is empty, but last time it had like 3 empty seat indicators on the top right, and this time it doesn't. It's hidden. Or not crew cabin, but like passenger area. No, I didn't delete it. It's still part of it's still this section here. I guess what I was seeing was the command module for Kerbals before, but this is crew quarters. It's a bit different. All right, so let's start the gravity turn. And, yeah, it's pretty controllable, stable, isn't wobbling. So I've got more hope for this thing than previous designs. Does it make sense to reduce the thrust? You can't anymore, as far as I can tell. I looked at it to adjust the thrust rate ratio of the solid engines, and it looks like it's 100 or nothing. There's no adjustments to be made anymore. I don't know if that's by design or oversight, but or maybe I was looking in the wrong spot. But I don't think you can be adjusting those. Next time I'm in the VAB, I'll reinvestigate. Just remind me. So we're 10k up. Gonna tilt some more. Apple Apps is about 25k up. I wonder if it gets a little bit less clunky if I zoom all the way in. $12K and climbing. We're 5/7 of the way to space with our Apple Apps. I want the solid boosters to... I'm not going to tilt so much because I want them to get me into space and not have to use the mammoth fuel for that. All right, 75K. Let's start tilting hard. Hard to horizon. Probably a crazy sight from the ground. And fuel is out. I'm going to save. Stage. Good. It works. Cool. Point towards maneuver, and time accelerate to next maneuver. Whoa, overshot. We're about to enter... Oh, there we go. No, stop. Oh, God. Game, why would you do that? It started time accelerating me to the maneuver even though I wasn't facing towards it. But we're high up enough that I can turn on the solar power panels because there's no air resistance anymore. So they're deploying. And I'm not quite pointed at the maneuver, but I'm going to abuse the rotation killing effect of time warping to get me pointed correctly. There we go. Now we're circularizing. Or orbiting. I'm actually going to retract the solar power panels so that I can eject the fairings on the comms without hitting the solar power panels. I'm not quite done circularizing, but I want the debris of the fairings to re-enter Atmo and crash. I'm going to give it a fair bit of ejection force. Alright, now it's clear. I can continue circular. Oh, there we go. Now we're orbiting. That camera adjustment's always jarring. And I'm going to start to... Yeah. At the next Apple Apps, I'll try to make this the least eccentric as I can. So, required delta V is only 67. We have about 3K left. So, easily a lot of fuel for adjustments. So I'll try to put in about 150k orbit again, just like I did last time. But this time it has a probe core, so I should be able to target it and dock with it, unlike before. Learning from mistakes. Come on, point. I like how the engine's just like, whoa, we're rotating. I feel like this somewhat resembles like a giant space laser. Right? Kind of looks like a giant space laser. Like some sort of futuristic weapon. It isn't. It does look like that. Okay, so the periapse is now 164k. I kind of overdid it. Maybe I can add point retrograde and lower it a little bit. And that way I get a nice 150k low eccentricity orbit, which is easy to dock to. Okay, close enough, within 200 meters. So next, go to the periapse. And then it will be in a nice stable orbit. I'll eject the fuel off the back and it will be ready for docking. In fact, for whatever reason, the periapse is climbed and which is weird because I'm not moving, so it should be stable. But it's about 150k. It's pretty. Simpler than the last model, but certainly easier to control. A lot less wobbly. And it has a computer. The point of measurement is moving? Yeah, that's a good point, Kellyan. This thing is long enough that that its elevation or its altitude depends on its orientation. That is true. Okay, there it is. Very non-eccentric orbit. The decoupling power here, I'm going to want to adjust. Okay, it's already super lowered. Good. Decouple. Bye, Felicia. And now our space station is ready to be docked with. Maybe get some RGB here. So we'll do green. Oh, no. All right, because they're all bound to the same. Let's make it blink red. I like it. Slightly slower blink. There we go. Sweet. That's done. Thank you for tuning in to Kerbal Space Program 2, which originally streamed live on Twitch, February 25th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream of mine. Farewell, my fellow Kerbernauts.